We are Vota Panama. Next slide. Before we begin, I just have one simple question. How much do you really know what's going on in the political realm of your country? Do you know who's running for state Congress? If the answer is yes, unfortunately, this is not the same thing that I see in my country. In my country, we barely know who's running for governor. So it begs the question, what is the problem? Is this the problem? No, this is only a small part of the problem. In the next slide, we see for the next slide. For the past three electoral cycles, we've been rotating out of three presidents who have been charged with some sort or a degree of financial or political corruptions and have been sentenced to prison but do not face prison time. During the last election, I felt deeply saddened and I was reminded of the institutional corruption, the uninformed population, and no reliable news or information, and a lack of publicly available statistics about problems surrounding politics in Panama. And Panama's not alone. Panama, alongside Latin America, is plagued by these problems. So we came up with a solution. Next slide. That's where Vota Panama comes into play. Vota Panama is a centralized political data hub that is easy to use and allows you to make informed decisions about politics. It's aesthetic and cost effective and centered around anything related to politics, the government, the judicial system, and the constitution to foster positive growth and change in Panamanian politics. In the next slide, we see that the main aspect of the app is using a map section, which centralizes the information about localized and segmented concerns, demographic statistics, events, candidates, or elected officials. But this is not the only aspect of the app. In the next slide, we see that users of Vota Panama will be able to inform themselves about local news through the news section, anything related to the legislation or that is passing through the National Assembly, executive decrees in the ministry section, information about the government, the judicial systems, anything related to education in the educational section. And the best part is that they'll be able to ask questions directly to elected official or candidates to hold them accountable, which is something that we lack in Panama. So in order to make this happen, we did target market research. In the next slide, we see that statistical research indicates that 3.004 million people voted in the last election in 2024. Out of that 3 million people, 375,000 people voted for the first time, ages 18 to 23, myself included. And 44% of those 3 million people are independent and are hungry and will for clean and transparent politics, and they're willing to fight for it. And in the next slide, we want to increase visibility about our product, about Vota Panama. So we came up with promotional strategies, which includes word of mouth, which is very effective in Panama, through the line promotional strategies, which includes the use of social media, and above the line, once we have more funds, which include more formal advertisements such as television ads, radio ads, billboards, etc. So our visibility is increased. And we want to grow and scale in order to reach more countries, because why stop at Vota Panama when you can have Vota Costa Rica or Vota Latin America? In the next slide, we see that in order to keep this a sustainable product and a sustainable company, we came up with different diverse revenue models. The first and main one is the subscription cost of $1 per year, which is a cost plus markup, because our company is focused in reinvesting and growing to create sustainable change, not making a profit. And additional revenue sources includes paid partnerships with NGOs for publishing data, ethical use of data with these different organizations, affiliated marketing with sustainable companies and ethical companies in Panama, and donations and crowdfunding from individuals who believe in our vision for a clean and transparent Panama. And Vota Panama has a fantastic competitive advantage. In the next slide, we see that our main competitors are word of mouth, social media, and newspapers, with some minor competitors of television networks, organization, or political parties. But what differentiates Vota Panama is that it's the only app in the market that serves as a centralized hub for anything related to politics. And by incorporating a social aspect to the company and creating a community of like-minded individuals, create the ability to use social media to share information from the app, we can incorporate our quote unquote competitors to help us grow and help us create sustainable change in a large amount of the population in Panama. And our unique selling point is the ability to use artificial intelligence as a filtering technique for information that is circulated through the app to ensure that we validate the information that we publish. Next slide. We see that as of right now, I'm the sole member that is working on Vota Panama, but that doesn't mean that I'm in this alone. I have a strong team of NGOs and organizations here in Panama that have shown incredible interest in the product, including Movin, Tribunal Electoral, and Consejo Nacional de la Juventud. The Fundación para el Desarrollo de la Libertad Ciudadana, which is an organization in Panama and the rest of the world, has different chapters which will help us scale and grow as a business, but also have resources in Panama to create sustainable information and create partnerships with different organizations to publish the data. Additionally, we have also organized a meeting with Nueva Nación, which is a local newspaper in Panama, in order to create a sustainable news section in the app. This means that with their help, we're able to have a sustainable, ethical, and non-biased and apolitical news section. In the next slide, we see that in order to make this happen, we have to have funds, and we will. And the main aspect of the development of the app right now is through the emphasis of the software development of the app. Then small promotional campaigns will be added to the cost and research costs will be added. But once we are circulating within the market, there will be a heavy emphasis on advertising and research, as well as having routine software maintenance and development to create the best possible product for the users. And I just want to leave you before I go with one simple quote, because the power is in your vote, and an informed vote can change the world. And Vota Panama is accountability, it is power, it is change, it is the future. And I invite you to join us in creating a sustainable change.